I really think Wells Fargo should just shut down business. I mean, just everybody just walk away. Leave your keys on the desk. Everybody should just walk away.
Seems ill-advised for a company of that size.
Yeah, well, you might want to get the wagons back out and start again. They're having a hard time finding a CEO. And who really wants to run Wells Fargo?
I'm available.
You're available.
Yes, I am available
Think
to
you're
be
qualified?
hired. I mean, I've got to be better than nobody.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Well,
I can be a figurehead.
Yeah.
I can go on TV and say,
oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down. You could do that.
I could do that.
You could do that. Okay. So not many people can. Anyway, so they were talking about this on CNBC. And I think Elizabeth Warren played this perfectly. But this is truly what's going on in businesses of all levels all around the country. Listen to this conversation with Jim Cramer.
How is it possible that this company cannot find a CEO? I mean, are they worried about Elizabeth Warren attacking that? She or he would be.
Of course they are, and of course that person is. Why wouldn't they be?
I don't know.
If she becomes the president, what do you think is going to happen to the banks?
Well, it would be a suboptimal situation.
It would be suboptimal.
You think Elizabeth Warren pushes banks into it? Well, they're already down 20% from the highs, but...
Yeah, I just think that, there were these hearings in the 30s where they brought rich people in front of Congress and just kind of trashed them. It was effective.
Well, it's about 20 years later, we had the least discrepancy in incomes in the 50s and 60s, all right?
I don't know what's going to happen. Look, I've got to tell you, when you get off the desk and you talk to executives, they're more fearful of her winning. I mean, I've never heard anybody say, look, she's got to be stopped. She's got to be stopped. I don't know. She's very, she keeps going up in the polls.
She's raised a ton of money.
She's going to win Iowa,
time.
I believe. She's a very compelling figure on the stump.
By the way, I hear it too, and it's another reason why companies are being implored to do things now. If you want to get something done,
you really think
M&A or anything, think about doing it soon, because come early to mid 2020, if Elizabeth Warren's rolling along, everybody's going to be like, that's it.
It's true. It's absolutely. It's why I've been telling you, you have to refi your house. You have to take care of business. You got to get, as solvent as you can. Get the money in gold. Get it safe places. The banks are not necessarily safe places. In really bad situations. But if the Democrats put somebody in office like Elizabeth Warren, or will put her into a real position in the next White House, you're going to see the banks. They won't loan money. They won't. They are going to hold on to any kind of money that they have because they're going to be under attack.
I didn't see how Elizabeth Warren handled this, but my guess is she's using it as a campaign commercial.
She ran it, and she just tweeted, "I'm Elizabeth Warren, and I approve this message."
Did she really?
Yeah.
Oh my, that's
smart.
Brilliant. It's smart.
Very,
I mean, look,
very good.
To that audience, destroying businesses deemed as evil, even ones that we interact with all the time.
People will be surprised at what happens when your bank doesn't have any money, or your bank doesn't want to loan money.
I mean, how do you paying for stuff? It's easy, right? This is why it's why these things are so ridiculous, these debates and such. All she's trying to do is find a way to say things that are as far left as possible.
She means it.
And she absolutely means it.
She means it.
But she also is not incentivized to, it's not a sane argument to say we want to tear down the financial institution. I mean, we talked about healthcare being 1/6 of the economy. What is it? Finance and insurance, these combined industries are about $1.5 trillion, about 7%. So about half the size of the financial sector is a giant chunk of our economy. It's half as big as the entire healthcare market. So you don't just tear it down.
They did healthcare.
Well, I mean, you could argue that. I mean, I would say obviously these companies are still in business, and maybe that's what she'll try to justify it. But I mean, she her idea that people are scared of her right now is a positive, right? When she's president, it's not, because the economy tanks, and then all of a sudden her approval ratings go through the
if
the
she
floor.
looks like she's going to win, and it will be blamed on Trump, but let's say she becomes the nominee and she's polling well, the market will price it in. The market will crash before, and it will hasten her into the market.
Yeah.
Or her into the White House.
If it looks like she has a chance to win. Now, again, if there's any Democratic candidate that Donald Trump can win against, it should be Elizabeth Warren. I mean, if you can't beat Elizabeth Warren.
Except Elizabeth Warren's message look,
if the economy tanks, that's a whole other situation.
I'm for all of the antitrust stuff that the states are doing. I don't know about all of them, but I think with Google and Facebook and all the things that they're doing, I'm glad the states are looking into antitrust. I was standing in the newsroom yesterday and I said, hey, does anybody know, wasn't the Microsoft antitrust movement, wasn't that at the top? Wasn't that the last straw before the dot-com bubble? We looked it up. Yes, it was. That was filed right at the very top of the dot-com boom. Now, did that cause it? No, I think it was just a really strong last straw that was on top. We're doing this now with 50 antitrust litigation coming from the different states for Google.
It's 48 states too, I think.
Yeah,
right?
it's a full-on onslaught, which I am for.
Yeah.
But you just have to be very, very aware of all of the cards that are on the table. It is a house of cards. You have China. You have the instability of the Middle East. You have Brexit going on. You have Deutsche Bank. You have Wells Fargo and all of their scandals. You have bigger debt than we had before in 2008. You have an out-of-control printing press all over the world. You have banks with no more bullets in their guns because most of them, except ours, are already into zero or negative interest rates. So if it falls apart, there's nobody to catch it. And we're the last one standing. Mark my words, trillions of dollars are being flooded in. When I saw President Trump say yesterday that the Fed really needs to lower the interest rates and get them down to zero or below zero. No, Mr. President. No, please don't do that. Please. We, A, have to have some bullets left in our gun. Don't spend them now. And B, the only reason why we're getting billions and billions of dollars from overseas investing in America right now because we're the last one standing and that will promise some sort of an interest rate. You take that interest rate to zero or below, they'll take their money out and they'll do something else with it. Right now, we are performing, but we're the last one on earth that is performing. So you have all these things that are just being built up. Then you have an election where somebody is saying, by the way, I'm going to get rid of the free market. If she is the nominee, the market could crash just because companies are like, you know what? Pull everything back. Pull everything back. You want to do something, do it right now. And we're going to pull everything back because we don't know what the world will be like. It doesn't like change, especially the unknown change. And so that could cause the market to absolutely collapse. We could spiral the whole world. That's what we're dealing with in the next 12 months. And I don't think anybody is actually explaining that. Just the realistic fear of having somebody like Elizabeth Warren or Bernie Sanders who is saying, I'm going to change the financial structure of America. It will change everything.